Look, we're not going to talk about match reactions and stuff too much on this podcast, but the Premier League season does start this week as we're recording, so it would be rude to not do some predictions, especially as two neutral fans. I think one thing that I find is that when you talk about the big teams, because we don't have any biases, maybe people take you more seriously.
I hope so. It goes either way. Sometimes I've been accused of being a fan of so many teams.
Oh, same.
If I say something bad about Liverpool, I'm a City fan. If I say something bad about City, I'm an Arsenal fan, or a typical Man United fan. I'm just sat there like...
I don't even know who I support anymore.
Yeah. Maybe I'm having an identity crisis. Maybe I am.
I changed my mind. I'm an Arsenal fan now.
Love Newcastle.
So let's do our bottom three, our top 7. And I think maybe we should go for another... there's obviously a lot of mid-table teams in the middle of that. Maybe just one to watch out for this season.
Yeah, okay.
And you can't say your own team.
Got that. Love that. Okay, I'll start us off with relegated. Do you want me to go through all 3?
Yeah, let's quick fire.
Let's just fire it out. I think Burnley are in trouble this season.
Yeah.
I've got Sunderland as well going back down, unfortunately, and I've got Brentford.
Stick it. So you're going Brentford to go down, Leeds to stay up.
I think Leeds will stay up. Weirdly though, as a Fulham fan, you think I'm just going to hate on Brentford. I just think the logic tells me they're in trouble, obviously, from all of the outgoings. I do feel like it's unfair to judge their management. Like, Thomas Frank was a little bit of an unknown quantity when he went in there. You never know. But I just think losing so many key players, has Visser gone to Newcastle yet? We're not sure, but he's going.
Will, yeah.
And then obviously you've lost the obvious ones as well, Norgard and Mbuemo. I worry about whether they have enough to stay up. Sunderland, I think, have recruited brilliantly. I think they have a good chance of staying up. AFCON worries me. I think they've got 4 to 5 new signings who are all, AFCON bound, and I think that could hurt them at an important time of the season. And Burnley, I think, play a really defensive structure. I have seen Scott Parker play Premier League football. It's not pretty. I admire what they did in the Championship. I just don't know if you can get away with that same tactic in the Premier League. I don't know if you can do a low block for 90 minutes against Wirtz, Ekitike with potentially Isak and Gakpo and Salah and just get a 1-0 win against that. I don't know how that works.
It's quite funny like how normally when teams come up from the Championship, the worry is that they're going to be too attacking and too expansive and like how they're not going to be able to dominate games, whereas Burnley are like they've gone too far the other way.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. They might be amazing. It might work.
Yeah, it might work.
It could prove us wrong.
I do think it helps. I mean, I've also got Burnley bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Despite saying that, you just look at the team. I'm just like, you know what, to say you've got to have good players. I just don't think they have that many good players. Call me crazy. 19th, I've got Leeds.
Okay.
I do think a promoted team is going to stay up. I think that team is going to be Sunderland. I just think I agree they've recruited well. The AFCON thing is weird because I agree it comes at a really bad time for them because their December is terrible. Like their fixtures in that are so hard, and then they have AFCON, so they could well lose like 7 or 8 games in a row, very, very conceivably. But like I feel like AFCON it obviously is an issue, but like I feel like it's been really spoken about loads this year. I'm like this AFCON's been a thing for ages, and like it definitely is an inconvenience. But if a nation gets grouped, they miss like 1 game.
Yeah, true.
People are like really going on about it this year, and I'm like, it obviously makes a difference, but it's such a small percentage of the season. But it's the timing of it for Sunderland, which I think makes it hard. But I've got them staying up, and my wild card shout to go down is West Ham.
Wow, really?
I will say,
do you know? Oh, that's big.
I like Hermansen. They've just signed that Leicester goalie. He's well good.
Yeah.
I like their fullbacks, but I just look at it's the midfield. I'm just like, oh God.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, I just feel like they're not going anywhere. The only thing is they have money broadly, and if Graham Potter stinks up the gaff, and I'm not convinced by Graham Potter, they will just sack him and probably be able to get a good manager, and that probably will happen. But I think there'll be I said in like May I thought a surprise team would go down this year, and I think it could be West Ham. That would be funny.
It's a big shout. It would be funny. It would be really funny.
The thing is, as long as Jared Bowen exists, they've got a pretty good chance of staying up. But
I think it would be funny in the sense of obviously how West Ham fans pushed Moyes out for so long. And I think we'll get on to later, maybe surprises of the season, but David Moyes is just such a guaranteed Premier League manager.
Yeah.
Won them a trophy. And I understand some of the reasons why they wanted David Moyes out, but, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
They don't look anywhere near that David Moyes side now that was winning Conference Leagues and challenging for top 6 place. But I think it's bold to say they'll go down.
It is bold, but you know what?
Have you seen Callum Wilson's contract?
Yeah, was it like $6,000 a week
It's
or
like
something?
$6,000 a week, and then an appearance bonus of like 70 grand
Yeah.
every time he plays. And you just think, 5 minutes to go if they're 3-1 up.
He's
Has
like,
he
get
got-
me on,
Yeah,
get me on.
yeah, get me on. I'm ready. I'm
Come
ready.
on, I'm going right now.
Has there ever been a Premier League contract? Like, I've never
No,
seen that.
people always talk about that. You know, they used to be like, "Oh, do a pay as you play thing." People
Yeah.
always say that about Andy Carroll. He's the one that I really remember. They're like, "Yeah, when he's fit, he's class. We should have an always pay as you play." But I don't think that's ever happened.
No, it just doesn't feel like it should. Even though footballers are so blessed to earn the money they do and everything, it doesn't feel like it should be allowed.
No.
It feels like strange. It feels like he's going to be having like deals with Potter and be like, I'll give you 20 grand if you get me on. Go on,
Yeah.
we're 3-0 up. Go on.
Or, yeah, Callum Wilson. It was also the most West Ham thing ever.
Yeah.
If there's any team in the league who were going to sign Callum Wilson on a free, on basically a pay as you play, it was going to be West Ham.
Yeah.
There's just no one else who come close to doing that.
They are poorly run, aren't they? They are poorly run. It would be devastating for them to go down. Yeah. I mean,
I think it'll be.
it's a big shout.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to have big shouts. I like a big shout.
You think Brentford will stay up then?
Yeah. I just have a theory. A lot of my picks are based on vibes in football.
Yeah.
And I have a theory that if football fans unanimously agree something before the season starts, it just means it won't happen. It just
Yeah.
never happens. Do you remember last year, actually on the topic of West Ham, when they won the transfer window?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh my God, West Ham are going to be unreal this year. And then they were just terrible.
Yeah.
And like Liverpool, no one thought Liverpool would win the league last year. They didn't.
Yeah.
I know for a fact you didn't.
I definitely didn't.
But like, yeah, I know you get some stick for that, but
Yeah.
it's very easy to say in hindsight, like, yeah, well, they had Salah and Van Dijk, and like,
Yeah.
they were the best team in the league, but no one had them to win the league last year, and I
Yeah.
will not be told otherwise. So I'm trying to get some like crazy pull out of this.
I like your thought process on that.
Mm.
It's smart. I like it. Shall we move into our top 7? Do you want to start from 7th and go up and do your list?
Yeah. I'll speed run this a bit, and maybe
Go on.
we can chat about it. 7th, I've got Man United.
Wow.
Might be
It's a
crazy.
good season for them.
Great season for them. 6th, Villa. 5th, Spurs.
Okay.
Big gap to 4th, I think.
Yeah.
4th, Chelsea. 3rd, City. 2nd, Liverpool. 1st, Arsenal.
Wow. You think this is the year they do it?
I think this could be the year. I think it's going to be really close. Really close. I think the top 4... Basically, again, my logic here is that there's not really much to separate those top teams. I just think a lot of it will come down to like moments, probably the games against each other, and like luck. You've got to be lucky to win the Prem. Liverpool were lucky last year. They were the best team in the league. They were also lucky with the injury or the lack of injury of Salah Van Dijk. Could happen again. I just think Arsenal have been up there like consistently enough, and I think if you do that enough times, it'll eventually swing in your favour.
Yeah.
So again, maybe not much logic behind it, but
I like the way you're thinking on it, and Arsenal have to. They have to win a trophy.
They have to win something this year. 100%.
I mean, they have to. For those who are watching, we are in the lovely Red Bull studio, and I have a little prompt in front of me, and I have a notification linked to my YouTube channel. It just popped down with someone who commented Arnie who with loads of laughing faces. So for those who know, you know. I famously predicted Liverpool at the start of last season to have a very bad year, and they didn't. So maybe go with whatever I don't say here as the winners. But we'll get into my list. I've got Brighton in 7th.
Oh,
I knew you were going to hate that.
no.
I knew you were going to hate that.
No.
I've got Brighton in 7th. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't think you'll want Brighton chat on this podcast.
No.
But I think
Limit the airtime.
no European football. If they can keep like some of their key players, I think they could have a good season. I don't have Manchester United anywhere near it, so that was a rogue shout from you.
It's the no European football thing. I think that would make a big difference this year to the teams in that.
Yeah,
and I agree, Brighton.
That's why I think Brighton might. Yeah.
In my final table, I had Brighton in 14th.
Wow.
Mainly just because I had to have them below Palace. For my own sanity. But I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. They've got a lot of depth, and the no European football make a big difference because obviously there's like 8 teams in Europe this year. 8, maybe even more than that. A lot of teams are playing in Europe.
Exactly.
So I've got United 7th.
Well, that's why I've got Brighton in 7th, and then above them, I don't have Villa in my top 7, based off I think they should go for that Europa League.
Yeah.
They've got everything they need to go for it. And I think once it gets to the final crunch stages of the season, that would be, as a Villa fan, I'd be like, go all out for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Villa's squad's good enough to challenge for the top 5. I don't think they're going to get a Champions League position. So I think finishing 6th for them in your table, like, I almost just, unless they have a disaster in Europe, I just don't see how it happens, because they should be at that late stage of the season going, we need to win this.
Yeah.
So I've got Brighton in 7th, Spurs in 6th, I think Thomas Frank's a really good appointment for Spurs.
Agreed.
I have in 5th place. Have I got this right? Yeah, that is 7. I can count. I've got just above Spurs. I've got Newcastle.
But then, see how
I'm happy.
The
I'm
logic.
really confident on this.
really,
Really confident.
why?
I think Eddie Howe's a brilliant manager. I think as of recording, it looks like they might keep Isak. We're not sure. We don't know. But
Yeah, it does look like
my
that.
gut feeling is
That's
that
true.
Isak stays, and it's like a Suarez type season from Liverpool where he kind of like goes back, apologises for how he's acted, and by 2 games in, everyone forgets about it. And I think they play Liverpool second game of the season. That'll be fun. But I've got Newcastle there because I think Eddie Howe will create, like, the northeast of England. Like, Newcastle already have this kind of like mentality of everyone's against them. They're one of those like proper clubs, aren't they, up north? And I think they'll be able to live off of that. Like this season with Eddie Howe, and be like, you know, they're not with the PSR stuff where they got Isak, they've kept him, they've been the joke of the transfer market, everyone's laughing at them, and like you said a little bit earlier, which I'm now going to take as my own gospel, when everyone thinks something,
True.
it's almost like the other, and I just think everyone's laughing at Newcastle, but I reckon they'll sign a couple of good players who will hit the ground running, they'll keep Isak, and Eddie Howe will get them playing really well. I think Elanga's a good signing for them.
Yeah, their windows. To be fair, I've only got them in 8th. On mine, I haven't got them that. I just think the squad depth might. They need more players.
They do.
But on paper, like if you just look at the pure transactions of their transfer window so far, it's not that bad.
No, it's not.
It's not. But like, it's just the surrounding. Now, it's like what hasn't happened is pretty peak for them.
Yeah,
I think they'll be active in the window. They have to be, even if they don't sell Isak.
Yeah. There's still some time as of recording for them to get some players through the door. So in 4th place, I've got Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think they're like obviously off the back of becoming Club World Cup champions, but I don't think they've got enough to get into that top 3. In 3rd place, I have Arsenal. So your winners. I just don't see. I think Arsenal need to win something, and obviously they could very much win the Prem. But I said this to you before off camera. I just think Arsenal need to win something.
They do.
So whether it's like they're in the latter stage of the FA Cup, or ideally for them a Champions League in Europe, if they have a favourable quarter-final Champions League draw, if I'm an Arsenal fan and that Premier League is going to be tough, like you said, I think it's going to be really close. They have got to just go all out for that Champions League. They have to.
I think the thing
they're
is
a cup
now,
team
though,
to me as well.
they've got depth though now. That's why I'm a bit confused that a lot of people have gone like really off Arsenal. I feel like over the past few weeks, when last season they were so hampered by injuries, like massively affected them, and now I agree that like is Madueke like the answer at left wing? Probably not. Like, but they've got their squad's got a lot better overall, and I just think they've solved issues. But I agree, like they might just end up going, you know what, let's just focus on the Champions League. But I think their squad is now deep enough that they could actually potentially focus on both.
Yeah. No, and that should be the aim. I do agree with that. I just think.
Do you think an FA Cup win will be enough to stave off the Arteta haters?
It depends. It depends where they are. Like if they lose a Champions League semi-final to Real Madrid, but win an FA Cup and then come second by a few points, obviously there's going to be critics, but they've won something.
True.
So I don't think you can take too much away from them for that. But I don't think an FA Cup's enough.
It is obviously the most historic trophy in England, by the way.
Yeah.
And if you've won the FA Cup, you're a massive team.
Yeah. Quite a few teams have won that now, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember the last to do it.
It's become Timpor now, actually.
My top 2, I've got. I changed it on the way here this morning.
Damn. City and Liverpool. You're
City and Liverpool.
City pool title race.
Yeah, I think City are massively disrespected. I just think
right.
everyone like laughs at them now, like for last season. But it's like it's one bad season. Their squad's still an absolute joke. They won 4 in a row not long ago. Like it's ridiculous. It's a lot of the same squad. Rodri's re-injury though.
Yeah, that makes a big difference for me.
That's pushed them to second for me.
Yeah, he's the Ballon d'Or holder. Yeah.
And he is just the spine of that team.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that he's re-injured, I don't know if it's the same knee, but I assume it is.
It just
feels bad. It doesn't feel like he's back to the level he needs to be. And they haven't really got their squad together as much as you thought they would at this point. I think as we're recording this, Savinho might be leaving, so they might need to replace him. I think they just got Grealish off the books to Everton, which is probably a good thing for both parties. But I have them in second. I have Liverpool to do it. I was watching the game yesterday, Community Shield, and although I think Palace deserved to win, there was points in the game where Liverpool were just playing some unbelievable football. The new signings were looking really good. obviously goals from, well, I think assists from Wirtz, goal from Ekitike, goal from Frimpong, even though it's kind of lucky, but amazingly poignant that 2020 time. That's the time he took the shot, the 20th minute, the 20th second.
Damn.
Which is insane for Diogo Jota. But I just think Liverpool, especially with the Isak rumours as well, I mean, if they get him through the door, which I don't think they will, but if they get him through the door, it solidifies it for me. I just think they're playing for more this season as well.
Yeah, I think that can make a big difference. I think you're right. The thing that worries me about them, again, having watched them in the flesh yesterday, I agree, their link-up was, going forward, I was like I've not watched much of Wirtz in particular, and I was like, God, he's really good.
Wow. Yeah.
Hot take, £110 million signing, he's really good at football, but he is really good. And yeah, attacking wise, they looked very dangerous. Just defensively, and this was my worry about them before yesterday. I very bravely made a video the morning of the Community Shield about why I thought Liverpool weren't going to win the league this year, which could have massively backfired, and it still might. But they were playing Palace that day in a final.
Yeah.
And I said I just worry about the defence. I just think the defence looks really open, and we got them quite easily yesterday. And I don't think we actually played that well. Like we played pretty well, but we didn't. I've seen us play a lot better, but we were getting in behind them, especially down their left, so much, just constantly. I just think if you play better teams, they'll punish that.
I completely agree, but I also think Palace set up like a very good team to play against Liverpool.
Yeah, I
do agree
with
season,
that.
Eze, Sarr,
Yeah.
Mateta linking up. Like you are almost what are people afraid of for Liverpool? It's that defensive frailty. It's getting caught on the counter. What are Palace unbelievable at?
Counter-attacking,
counter-attacking.
Also, it was the same team that started the cup final. Like, it's a very settled team that we had, and obviously Liverpool had some teething problems a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I think a lot of big teams win or lose the Community Shield, don't they? And it doesn't matter for their league title aspirations. Like, people are being very reactionary because they lost that game, and it's like, all laugh at Liverpool. But actually, I think it might be a good thing.
Yeah,
they can watch that footage back and go, we need to buck up here. We need to sign a centre back as well. Probably.
I was going to say
they need some support there.
They might end up signing Gahey off the back of that game.
Because
hurt you. I mean, I think we should sell him this summer because he's only got a year left, and he's probably going to leave next year anyway. Might as well get some money for him. But I think I think that could, ironically, us winning the Community Shield could lose us our captain.
I think that's the nature of football.
But I'm fine with that broadly. I think I agree that if Liverpool were to sign Isak and a centre back and probably one more player, that's the thing. I feel like they need a lot. That's why I don't necessarily. This might be a crazy thing to say. I don't think getting Isak should be a priority for Liverpool. Even though he is amazing, I'm like, is 140 or 130 million, whatever it will be, on Isak, a good purchase? Is it worth doing? And you could say, well, he's the best striker, one of the best strikers in the world, so yeah, and he makes them better. So why would you not do it? Which I do agree, but I just worry it leaves them a bit short,
a bit top heavy
elsewhere, because I know they have PSR headroom and they could, in theory, spend more than that. But are they actually going to do that?
Yeah.
If you spend 140 million on Isak, are you going to go and spend 50 on another centre back and then buy someone else? You're probably not, because that would take your spending to 500 mil.
Yeah,
and Liverpool are not. I don't think Liverpool are going to do that.
No, I agree.
But yeah, we've got a lot of mid-table teams in the middle that we've not touched on. We won't touch on all of them, but let's do our team to watch this year. I think you can have Brighton as yours.
Brighton are a good shout. Yeah, we're not allowed to say our own clubs, are we? Because I do really believe Fulham will have a good season.
But you've not signed anyone.
Yeah, but it's settled squad. That's what I love. I think sometimes
people do
you
get
live on the
caught
internet
up in
and you
it.
see, you said West Ham earlier for going down because remember they had that transfer window couple last season. Everyone goes crazy about it. You kind of want to be a little bit forgotten about. I think if you're a Fulham, you don't want everyone talking about you and putting an expectation on you. And I think that players like Emil Smith-Rowe will hit the ground running and do really, really well. Off the back of a £40 million signing, I think this is the year for him to prove that. Josh King coming through, young player, settled team, solid defence. Robinson stayed, but we're not allowed to talk about our own teams here.
No, even though you just did.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. You could say Brighton, but to be a bit more interesting, I think Everton will have a good season.
Yeah, I like that.
I really like Everton. I think we just off the back of getting here, we saw Grealish has signed. I think David Moyes is just such a brilliant manager. As we spoke about, West Ham are going to miss him and are missing him still. And I think new stadium, good vibes. I like that striker they signed as well.
Yeah, Barry.
Yeah, it's just so David Moyes. We spoke about that before. It's just so David Moyes. So I think it will work, and I think they'll have a top 10 is a good season for
Yeah,
Everton.
yeah, that's a great
They're
season.
going to get 9th or 10th.
Top 10 in the cup run.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, but again, there's normally a team that breaks through. I suppose Brighton doing that on yours, but I think last year was the year for a lesser team to make noise. I feel like the Prem goes in cycles, and there's normally like 1 year every like 5 years where a lot of the good teams really fall off.
Yeah.
And it's like a chance. That's the year to be good.
Yeah.
And like Palace benefited from that. Forest benefited from that. Well, they were the main two, I suppose.
Even Fulham, like we were close. We had our record ever points last season.
Yeah, so did we actually.
We were close to getting into that 7th, 8th position.
Where did Fulham finish last year?
I think we ended up finishing 11th. I'd have to fact check that.
It was really congested though, wasn't it?
We like it was. We were so close. FA Cup quarter final to you guys, obviously, that we lost. But we had that. You are so right. We had that season where it felt a little bit like last season was the season to try and get into Europe, or the season to win that cup, and obviously it was.
It was. Can confirm. I think the good teams, the big teams, are strengthened enough this year to like. That's why I think United are going to be 7th. I know that.
That's a big shout.
I just look at the front three of Mbuemo, Cunha, and Sesko, and I'm like, that should score goals, and that was their big problem last year. They still need a midfielder, but I just think Palace are going to really struggle. I think playing twice a week. I think Forest are going to really struggle twice a week. I think even Newcastle playing Champions League, their squad is still very thin now. I know I've got Villa 6th. Like I still think they'll do well, but I think those teams will, even Spurs to an extent. Like I think because those clubs were not as good last year, some of them going into Europe this year playing twice, are we actually really ready to do that? Yeah. As a Palace fan, that's why I'm disappointed. The principle of us going down to the Conference League is what is doing my head in, but like on a practical level, it does worry me less as a competition, because we could have just got grouped in Europa, or just it would have really messed with our season.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have a good run in the Conference League.
But then you don't want to be. We'd be statistical favourites.
Yeah,
which is terrifying. I don't want to be. Palace have never been the favourites for anything. I don't want to be the favourites. That's a terrible situation to be in, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. But then if we won 3 trophies in a year, that would actually be generational.
Then I will need a new co-host.
Yeah, you will. Who have you got finishing higher, Fulham or Palace? Have you got that?
I think Fulham, but based off of your weak squad at the moment, or I shouldn't say weak, but you don't have depth.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at the squad yesterday and thinking like, this is going to struggle Thursday to Sunday. And with Fulham, I think we're so settled that we should have a good run at those European places and cup run. So I think we'll finish above you.
I've got that in my table as well.
Yeah.
I've actually got Fulham 11th, Palace 12th, which I think is what it
Palace
was.
12th. Has that happened before?
No, I don't think it has.
No,
that'll be a first.
Yeah,
I think our spiritual home, obviously 12th place.
I love it. So I've got Liverpool to win the league, and you are going with Arsenal.
Closet Arsenal fan, back at it again. I just think they're going to do it.
Shock horror.
Can you give me one wild card prediction for this season? We've not prepped that.
We've not prepped that at all. One wild card prediction for this season.
I can give you mine if you want.
Yeah, you go.
I was asked this for something else the other day, and my original one was that Højlund would score 12 plus goals in the Prem this season. He has since been replaced by Sesko, so I don't even know if he'll play for Man United this year. I had that as my prediction, and then I had to go on this shoot the following day, and I was like, well, I need to change it, but like, what to?
Yeah.
And that night, I had a dream that Liverpool drew 8-8 at Anfield. Now, I'm going to scale it back a little bit, and I'm going to say that the record for most goals in a Premier League game is going to be broken this season at Anfield.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is 8-8.
I'm not going to go 8-8. I think I'm going to go for either 6-all or 7-5. The record is 11 goals
6-all.
Currently.
Yeah, okay.
And I think if I had to pin down a fixture for that, I think I've done some thinking about this. Like, what is the kind of team you want Liverpool to be playing and for there to be a lot of goals?
Yeah.
I think Brighton's trip to Anfield on December the 13th, Saturday, might be moved for TV, so that's TBC.
Yeah.
Is going to yield the most goals ever in a Prem game.
This is so fun because we can come back to that.
And if
we need to remember, producer Jacob needs to remember that, because that is gold.
It would be one of the best predictions of all time, and I'm spreading the word of it. I need to have as much proof of me thinking, because in the dream, this is an important part of the dream.
Right. In
the dream, it happened, and I was like, oh my god, I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't predict it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should, and no one's going to believe me now. So I'm now overcorrecting, and anyone who will listen, I'm telling them. Liverpool 6, Brighton 6.
Liverpool 6, Brighton 6, December 13th.
Yeah. At the moment, TBD.
At the moment. I love that. I'm going to have a think. Oh, mine. What could I go with? Right, I've been put on the spot here. And
Sorry.
I don't know what goes on in here half the time, because I've predicted Newcastle to have a fantastic season, and I think they will. But there's a small part of me, very small part of me, that can see Eddie Howe getting the sack and being replaced by Jose Mourinho mid-season.
That would actually be box office.
If that happens, I would be shocked. But
that's the point of
where
a
my brain
prediction.
went.
Yeah.
No dream, but just a vision.
I think that's why you want to have a crazy prediction out there sometimes. Football doesn't work how you think it does a lot of the time.
No.
You know, you can sit there and just predict the odds-on favourites for things, but it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
So why is Eddie Howe getting sacked?
Eddie Howe is getting sacked because Isak is going to leave. They're not going to have the goals to replace him. They're going to struggle in Europe. For those who have listened for more than 15 seconds will know I don't think any of this.
No, I need to keep
but
on going.
I think it's more about Mourinho. Mourinho feels like he will manage Newcastle one day to me.
Talk about a like a siege mentality manager, us against them. Mourinho, it will always be the goat of that.
It would work.
They would be. I mean, I actually like Jose Mourinho, so I don't necessarily fall into this bracket. But some people, I mean, a lot of people don't like Newcastle already. If they got Mourinho, that some people's head would be on Mars.
Yeah,
Chelsea fans in particular, I think. Would.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they already don't really like Newcastle because of the game back end of last season, but that'd be crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's going to happen.
It will happen.
When this gets clipped up, Eddie Howe is getting sacked from Newcastle and Jose Mourinho will be managing Newcastle United and he will win the Champions League with them mid-season.
Now we're talking.
There we go.
That will happen. He'll get sacked just after Liverpool draw 6-0 with Brighton at Anfield.
Yeah, December 14th, Mourinho takes the reins of Newcastle. The Nearly Men podcast blows up.
Yeah. We go viral.
Yeah,
Let's go.
That's the goal.